everybody, back with a new episode of Babylon 5. Last episode was a banger. I loved it. Seeing that, Babylon 5 is just out there traveling through time and space, and them getting on board, meeting Zathras, who is a fucking real one, loved him, and meeting the one who was apparently Sinclair's older self, who I don't know what his relationship is with Delenn or what it was before whatever the Great Council did to him, but it seems like they have a loving relationship, and that might not be true to who he was prior to the Great Council, but it definitely is who he is now. And she herself had a big decision where she decided not to be the leader, even though the Great Council wanted her to. And now she is not able to be in contact with them anymore, or can't go visit. And I think that has to do with who Sinclair is and her feelings toward him. I don't think it has everything to do with her wanting to be an ambassador, But for whatever reason, they have prophecy that makes them believe in humanity. So I'm excited to see that explored more, and whatever the hell was going on with the one and this great war that we're supposedly going to be getting into, because apparently destiny is playing a big role here. I'm excited for that to be explored as well. We saw a potential future that looked a lot like a great war, and we even saw past with Garibaldi. So that episode was a lot, and I loved it. But this next episode is called The Quality of Mercy. Kind of makes me think of maybe evaluating the act of mercy. And maybe they'll have somebody that maybe people don't want to give mercy to, but I don't know, they decide to anyway. I don't know. But penultimate episode, I wonder if there's going to be any lead into a finale thing, or if this is going to be a more standalone before we get into that. So not sure, but I'm very excited to get back into it. So let's do it. We haven't seen Chikar in forever.
To forge good relations with possible allies.
Yes, I understand, but it's not an easy process.
I'll be in touch.
I'll be in touch. Touch this. I hardly know anything about you.
From birth, I was raised in the temple and studied the ways of the religious.
I'm glad you asked.
6 months ago, I came here. There is nothing else.
Tell you what, it is an imposition on my busy schedule, but I'll take you under my wing and fill the gaps in your education.
You were charged with the calculated and unprovoked murder of 2 of this station's residents, as well as the brutal and senseless slaying of a security officer.
He's in
This
Shawshank
court has reviewed
Redemption.
the charges against you and the evidence supplied by the Office of Station Security.
Your job is chief of staff for the MedLab facility.
No, my job is healing people. Med labs aren't free. Not everyone can afford to come for treatment, especially in down below.
Well, they have my sympathies.
Love that.
But this is an unauthorized clinic. I don't mind if you bend the rules a little, doctor. I mean, I bend a few myself. But I do like to be informed.
Okay.
If I'm going to share in the blame, I'd at least like to share in some of the fun.
Okay, that's
All right.
fair.
I was inside a killer's mind before, on the Mars colony. There's got to be another way.
If you could get another registered telepath in here to carry the burden.
I've tried.
Maybe while you're inside his head, you can poke around, see if this guy's killed before. Anything a telepath sees whilst inside a defendant's mind is inadmissible evidence.
But he's already been found guilty.
Yeah.
This crime, yes, but he hasn't been charged with anything else, and I will not condone a fishing expedition. Take the guilty verdict and
So
be
what is she
grateful,
supposed to go in there and
Mr.
do?
Gallagher.
That sucks for the telepaths. No wonder there's not a lot of motivation.
My treatments never fail. That should do it.
Thank you.
So, pseudoscience?
How much do
Whatever you'd like to pay is sufficient.
Well, it took me a while to notice the drop in patients. This
Oh.
is,
Alien.
does the term con job ring a bell?
My mother is not a fake.
Oh.
Or an evil woman or a quack.
You didn't tell me that she was your mother.
You didn't ask.
Don't like the competition, Doctor?
I have a problem with frauds, if that's what you mean. And this...
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Do you have anything to say before sentence is passed?
Stroke off.
Ooh.
Under the authority of the Earth Alliance Court, I cannot sentence you to death. Therefore, it is the decision of this court that you be sentenced to the death of personality.
Mind wipe?
Under guard to a medlab facility, where you will be telepathically scanned and then brain wiped.
Oh.
The personality of Carl Edward Mueller will be totally and completely erased. You will then be programmed with a new set of memories.
That
The rest
seems
of your
very problematic. I don't know. I think I'd rather die. Give me the death penalty.
When does he get wiped?
Midnight tonight.
I need some information on a woman by the name of Laura Rose. She's running a questionable operation in down below.
I mean, is she doing harm?
Seems I've left my credit check in my quarters.
Don't do this.
I don't suppose you brought yours, hmm?
Poor Lanier.
Yes, I did, but my allowance is very small.
Oh, no, don't apologize. We'll make do.
Londo.
My people do not react well at all to alcohol. Even a small
There's
quantity
definitely alcohol
causes
in it.
psychotic impulses and violent homicidal rages.
Take that, take that, take that!
Alcohol. My mistake. Just water for him, thank you.
She could never keep up with it all, so she started taking stims to stay up nights, working.
Oh,
Pretty
man.
soon she was taking them all the time. Till one day she made a mistake. Someone died.
Sorry.
When they took away her license, they took away her reason for living. For the first time, I see hope in her eyes.
Janice, her machine doesn't work.
How do you know? Have you tested it? Examined it?
No, but if it was real, why are you still here?
She's a healer again, and that's all that matters. Please don't try and take that away from her, because if you do, I'll fight you.
Ooh,
And I'll win.
damn.
It can mean sand, father, boot.
Really? That's astonishing. Truly.
Kill me. After my 11th year,
Poker.
Poker.
Come.
Oh, Lanier. He's too pure. You got this, Talia.
Take away my thoughts, my memories, everything that makes me me, so they can put me to work for the rest of my life, mopping floors, cleaning toilets.
Mr. Mueller, if you continue this, I will have to ask the guards to restrain you. Is that what you want?
Weird.
don't do it. Look, we can work this out.
He's a serial killer?
And I have to keep adding voices until the choir is big enough to sing me into heaven when I die. It's necessary.
No.
Don't you see?
Why does he have to do this?
Stay. Stay for the symphony.
Oh my god, so he's truly
Save a place for you.
psychotic.
My daughter thinks that she's doing the right thing, but if we show her that people's conditions are actually getting worse because of the lack of proper treatment...
Are they, though?
Do you know that the odds of this particular combination are 5,000 to 1 against?
They're gonna fold.
I monitored your life signs during the session. They dropped nearly 15% while you were hooked up to this thing. It transfers energy from one being to another.
Oh.
You give up a little of your life for someone else.
It was designed as a means of corporal punishment. Criminals who were sentenced to death on different worlds had their life energy removed. And that energy was
this is
used
very
to heal others dying of terminal illness.
similar to what's happening.
It doesn't have to be used at full power. It can be used a little at a time to do good.
Aw, poor
Can I see
lady.
my mother again, Dr. Franklin?
No, just checking in. You ever want to take a break? I'd love to buy you dinner sometime.
Okay.
I don't know what my mother told you, but it must have really been something.
It was.
You said earlier that you would bet good money that he had killed before. You would not have lost.
But you can't do anything.
Erasure 3.
Cheater. What was that?
Oh, is it to me?
Oh,
Yes.
me? Who, me?
I'll raise a red.
Going down, Chief?
Nah, heading up, Luke.
Oh my God.
You raised 3, and I'll raise 3.
Oh. Look at it.
What the hell? You cheat? No, I'm sure there's been a terrible mistake. Perhaps you and I can talk about it quietly some other
No.
time. No.
Lanier! Holy shit!
You say he got off at a down below sector?
Yeah.
Keep him away from her.
Yes, Doctor.
He would take all of her life force.
Laura?
Oh, man.
Come in, Doctor.
Stay.
I have no other choice.
Switch it where you take his stuff. Yes.
What are you doing?
That's Lake's son.
You're giving it.
Pain almost too much to imagine.
Well, this works out.
He's dead.
I guess she's not bound by
This
the
court has
Hippocratic
reviewed
Oath
all of the
anymore.
evidence provided by the Office of Station and Security. It is the judgment of this court that Laura Rosen acted in self-defense to protect her own life as well as the
That's fine.
lives of others.
I'm free from Lake syndrome. They say I may live another 20 or 30 years. But I do so at the expense of a man's life. No, Doctor. I'm not all right.
We've identified the 2 culprits.
Really? Who are they?
I'm still waiting for an explanation, gentlemen.
In Minbari culture, we are taught that it is an honor to help another save face.
But the Len,
We'll know better, but will not inquire out of respect.
Lee, goddess of passion, a synthesis of male and female Centauri. Did you think these were just decorations?
I'm going to take a vow of silence concerning this entire conversation.
Through no desire of my own, I have been granted a second lease on life. Somewhere out there is what I need to redeem myself.
You don't need to.
Do whatever
Yes,
you
I
got
do.
to.
And I'm going to find it.
Is that dinner invitation still open?
Yeah, it's still up. 7, Zocalo.
Okay, so this was an interesting episode. Some very gray moral dilemmas here. And I think it worked out the way it needed to. I don't blame Laura for feeling like she needs to redeem herself. That probably stems still from the life that was taken prior to all this when she lost her license. I don't think that went away just because she was healing again. But now that she's taken another through what the courts deemed self-defense, and I don't think anybody blames her at all, but she does feel the need to do better in any way that she can and help. And now that she is free of that disease, she is able to go do that. So good for her. And that technology is really interesting, and having Dr. Franklin compare it to donating blood puts it in perspective, like, oh yeah, I could see that being something that people could willingly give up to help others. So I really like that, and I liked how the trial, that guy played into that, because of course he would go in there and try to take all of the life force, because we know of how much he's already taken in the past, because we saw inside of his head. And so I don't feel bad that he had that done to him. I think the idea of the mind wipe seems very problematic. I feel like I'd rather be killed. And also, is it foolproof? Because I don't know, you wipe the mind. What if there is an inherence to him It wasn't nurture or memories or anything like that. It's just a nature thing. Isn't it a possibility that he would do that stuff again? And then at the same time, you're like, well, is it okay for them to even get to do that, even if it is the worst person on earth or on Babylon 5? Is it okay to take away someone's body autonomy like that, even if they are a killer? I don't know. It certainly doesn't seem fair for the telepaths that have to go in there and do it. Talia, like, is really hurting because of that, and she said, like, there's a lack of telepaths that are willing to do this just because of the toll it takes on you, and Talia having to see the worst in humanity is tough, especially coming off last episode where Delenn was gassing us up to come to this episode to see, yeah, there are some really dark and horrible parts, and he's not the only one. She said she's, had to go into several's heads. That's tough, and the judge said that they don't do the death penalty because of their agreements, and they don't have anywhere to keep him. So it is a thing of like, what do you do, It also feels a little like slavery in the way that they're not going to have any sense of self after the wipe, and then they'll just be doing the state's bidding. It kind of reminds me, I don't know if y'all have seen Black Mirror. Spoilers for an episode of that. I think it's White Bear. But there's the whole premise of the episode is that someone who has been convicted and is a objectively bad person, or someone who objectively did a bad thing, is mind wiped and kind of put through a simulation of torture, really. But if you don't remember what you did, it seems very cruel to punish someone unaware of what their retribution is. I don't know. It's very complicated, and I don't know what the correct answer is, but that doesn't, I don't know, the mind wipe, that seems, I don't know, it doesn't sit right with me. But I don't know if there is an easy fix or alternative. But that guy sucks, and I wouldn't care if he got killed. But also, the death penalty is a hot button issue, and not everyone is okay with it. And I have my qualms about state-sponsored murder myself. But that guy sucks. So I'm glad Laura got to do what she did. The Lanier and Londo stuff was fun. He was told to start making some allies, and Lanier, you don't need much. Honestly, I think he didn't have to show Lanier quite all of that. Definitely doesn't really go with who Lanier is, but, gave him some experience and definitely forged a friendship. I think Londo learned to trust him because he said that he doesn't trust that many people there. And if you're going to trust anybody, I would trust Lanier. And Lanier did him a solid, and now he owes him. But I think that's the start of a nice friendship. And oh my God, I thought he was holding something in there. I didn't know that was like a sexual organ he was using to cheat. Jesus, Londo. Too much. You're doing too much. But, I enjoyed seeing them out together. That was really fun. The commander was barely in this. So nothing from the past episode was dealt with, and Delenn is still on her way back. So this was kind of just like a one-off. But I like the complicated nature of what was being touched on here. Laura's story was really sad, but I'm glad that it turned out in a way where maybe she's not getting to do what she was doing, but she is on a path now where she can feel like maybe she can get some redemption, which is nice. And Dr. Franklin has a date. Good for him with the daughter. And I'm glad that he didn't just shut her down. It wasn't pseudoscience. That shit was really working, and now is like a brand new technology that he can maybe implement and start helping people. So I liked how he handled her, because we've seen previously how Dr. Franklin has been when he has been self-righteous about what doctors are allowed to do. And I like that he got to meet Laura. I'm glad that we got to meet her. But just all the stuff with the judicial system was new, and I liked them exploring that. I hope we go into that kind of stuff more, because I just feel like telepath rights are something that is very undervalued within this community, and I hope Talia and the others can gain some kind of say so in what they're made to do. But yeah, the mind wipes are wild. I mean, even outside of the actual wipe, the comparison that they have to do prior to that is just asking a lot, especially when it's someone like that guy. So that sucked for her and everyone that has to do that. So yeah, I don't have like complete solid opinions on like what's right or wrong here, and I like that. I like that it's complex, and even the characters themselves are kind of like trying to figure it out for themselves. So I appreciate that, and that's something that the show does really well. So I very much appreciate that. So one episode left. Very excited for what that's going to be, if we're going to get more of what we dealt with last episode. But even though this episode didn't really touch on any of that, I liked it for what it was, so I can appreciate it just for the story it was telling in this episode. So yeah, good episode. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll be back soon.